the double ban rounds. It's going to be exciting, but let's have a look at it right on here. As we can see, you know, Ultron is the double ban right out of the gate. That is what we want to talk about right there. That's going to bring in the power and shut out of here the Ultron. Ultron's is dominant, honestly, one of our most banned, honestly. But I'll tell you what, we do see the Jeff Protect, and I know, Ricey, you're looking forward to that Jeff Protect.
Yeah, we've seen Jeff on ChopperMag multiple times. We've seen Skittles be put on the Jeff Jail, the Pethic on the Jeff Jail as well. I don't know if we want to call it Jeff Jail though, because I think Jeff is pretty fun. I actually played some Jeff on competitive the other day, and we won the game. It was great.
Jeff Jamboree, it's fun. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Why not? You know. But you know what is fun? A Mantis banned into a Mantis Protect. They're going out strong. They know what they want. Ground Zero. They are locking in the Mantis.
Yeah, they are indeed. And ChopperMag says no more Adam Warlock. You know, the revive composition, the revive comp, or the gameplay, it can be quite nasty to verse. But ChopperMag also doesn't want to verse Jeff either. And we've seen some Jeff from Ground Zero, but the Mantis, that is what I'm super keen to see from Ground Zero. And Lunar Snow as well. A ban and then protect once more.
Ooh, again, it's like clockwork. I like what I'm seeing from Ground Zero. They're going aggressive with their picks and bans here, waiting to see how ChopperMag's going to counter that. They've already locked out the Ultron, the Atom, and they're going to shut out the Phoenix. This is a good pick for them right now. That's going to affect Revsy's gameplay here. This could be a tidal wave of a change, but Final Protect right now coming out. This Final Protect, it's going to be Invisible Woman. They're going to make sure they do lock themselves in, a very competent strategist alongside that Jeff. Now, these pulls, these boundaries, could be game changers. Curious to see how it's going to be. Final ban coming out. What is it going to be?
Well, Ground Zero has banned every single, only strategist so far, but they've decided to switch things up and go for a Vanguard. I think the only Vanguard ban in the lobby. While most of them are in fact strategists, with one Phoenix from ChopperMag banning onto Ground Zero. So in this game, they definitely are trying to make sure that they are playing and versing against the strategists that they want to see not in the game and play on their own side.
Indeed, I couldn't agree more. But speaking of more, we got no more. That's right. Gamma time. It looks like Hogs and Lou are going to bring that combo. That's what we call, you know, we call that one imported logistics right there, okay? Because they brought Hogs and Lou in to join the Ground Zero roster, the OCE roster, and they're going to bring in the Gamma with them. So I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm down for it. You know what else I'm down for? I'm down for some Celestial Husk. This is a beautiful map. Great gameplay. Great time on domination. I want to get into the action. Let's check it on out. It's going to be beautiful. 20 seconds till those spawn doors open. We got to appreciate the amazing level design here. I got to say, you know what? In these few seconds we have before everything, make sure everybody, you go to the shop, go check out the new Emma costume. It's absolutely glorious. But let's see if we're going to get some glorious gameplay as well, Ricey. We're about to get into our first game.
3,
We are about to get in here. It's going to be exciting. Wait, not only may we have the Gamma Squids team up from Ground Zero. Never mind. I thought for just a second we might get Orko coming through, but no, they're going to be switching off to still a triple strategist lineup. Both teams are running triple strategists, so lots and lots of sustain and lots of kills for both teams to work with to try and keep these fights in each other's favor. But of course, it all comes down to whoever is going to get first pick, because that's when the sides get changed. That's when the pressure leans towards one team.
Yep, and pressure builds diamonds, and that's what Adam's going for right here, rushing forward to the back line. A bit of a flying sentinel over there, trying to get around the valley, but ChopperMag is close to capturing. Ground Zero don't want to give it to them yet. They're going to keep that contest alive. Skittles on the high ground, bubble action, making it happen, giving sustain where there is pain. Revsy driving forward on the Mantis, got a straight for Skittles with a clean pick there.
Absolutely amazing work coming up on Revsy. Huge aim and everything coming out, and that was massive. ChopperMag now with one less player, losing control of the point. Nobody still has capped it just yet. ChopperMag was so close, but only hitting about like 80% of the way there, so they were about to cap it. But Ground Zero have turned things around, and they're contesting strong. But I mean, Skittles is surely back now, and things are back sitting at a 6v6. Looking at the ultimates, maybe Salvation and Alice could bring out Zen, was it Zen diagram? What do you call it?
Oh, wait a minute, there's a whale on our screens. Lou taking out Bobo right there. Big picks. Perfect clears it with a nice BRB beacon, bringing them back. But the Jeff Scoops! The Jeff Scoops. Skittles saves their team, I believe. Where are they going? They're throwing the team. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what am I witnessing this? Holy, that's a 4K from Skittles on the Jeff, and even saved their teammate. Oh my days.
Amazing work from Skittles. Absolutely game-changing. Despite being the first one picked in this game, in this first map, they managed to turn things around, and ChopperMag finally capped the point. It was back and forth, that fight, with lots of, heals and sustain from, of course, the triple strategist lineup. But Skittles, massive, it's Jeff ultimate, and turn the tides, quite literally.
Oh, they absolutely do right there. Gives them a good 30% lead and a lot of tertiary power here to be able to get some value. But speaking of value, Bobo in the skies, Galactic Legend, just gunning them down right now, trying to make it happen, get the value they need, but it's going to be matched by Lou on the normal speeds and takes out Bobo in the skies. That is the anti-air arsenal that can come from the absolute Submariner right there. Big squid action as well, making it happen. Luna's hitting the fate of both worlds. That's right, that's going to be dancing coming out from Netra. A boundary matches the pace from Salvation here, and Sustain is just pouring into both teams.
Yes, so much sustain coming through. Out comes the boundary, and also the psionic seduction from the Atom. Bobo manages to get Netra. Massive pick coming up on ChopperMag, being able to take out one of the strategists, but there is more coming though from ChopperMag. They're not done yet. Freedom charge from Zenstar and going into the back of this ground zero to try and do more damage, but they're gonna still stay alive. The sustain from a triple strategy lineup is huge. Of course, Netra is skating her way back as fast as they can, and out comes the amplifier from Tragic, and that's all they need. ChopperMag clean up a triple for Skittles.
Absolutely, and I think Skittles is hungry to go for another quadra, but he's going to have to dial her back, of course, as Netra just retreats back to spawn. But even though they retreated, looks like they're going to have an opening because the portal is up from Adam. It's going to be an absolute maul in action. Hold on a second. I think Duke's not letting him go through the portal. The Monster Hulk is holding the gate right there. They do manage to go through the portal. Looks like everybody's going to scoop on up and get into action right there. Boundary set up as well from Alice. Is going to give GZ sustain on the point right there. Bobo's landing shots, trying to get an angle. Has the Galactic Legend when they need. Going to try and go around the flank here and a bit of an angle. And they do have an opportunity here. They could shred the back line out. It's a big scoop right there. Skittles just managed to get one inside.
He only gets one, and Hogs though cancels and takes out Skittles, and Sari also falls. ChopperMag are falling one by one, but Patrick does provide Skittles with a BRB beacon. Bobo though gets taken out, and with that, Ground Zero do manage to take things back in overtime, and they start the long climb from 0% and try to reach that 99% that ChopperMag has already claimed.
Now that is a lot of good timing right there for Ground Zero. They only used 2, maybe 3 ultimates to get that fight win and get point contention back for them. So now it's all going to turn out if ChopperMag can just build up their capabilities again to take it back. They can be patient. They got time. They got 80% to work with. They do have that lead to 99. All they got to do is win one fight, and ChopperMag takes his first round here on domination. But we'll see what they really want to go for here, because right now I'm seeing an angle, and they're focusing right now on the more squids, the loose squids, seeing if they can just nullify some of those larger cooldowns so that Ground Zero don't really get an opening to try and attack.
Yeah, of course, any opening could be important for them, as Duep nearly takes down the Hulk, but instead it's going to be a Monster Hulk coming out from Hogs as they now smash all over the ground. Shields coming up on Salvation, boundary to keep everyone sustained and alive. 50% and counting. Ground Zero are getting closer and closer, but of course, it's going to be a difficult fight. Ivo Komodo does claim Salvation, but Salvation comes back with a BRB beacon, and the fight continues on in an even 66 setting. Out comes the CYA ultimate from Pethage.
And there it is, an absolute Bloatsy coming through from the Psynics from Duet. And that's going to take a double KO. That's going to be another 2 down. Overtime's ticking off. All of GZ are down. ChopperMag cap it back at 100%. And they do take the round here on Celestial Husk, which does mean, they claim the Codex for now. And we're going to go to the hand and see how things turn out. But of course, strong showing so far from ChopperMag. However, Ground Zero getting warmed up. I'm seeing the opportunities that they're trying to capture there, and they're also baiting out a lot of ChopperMag's ultimates in getting value where they need it. However, they were just behind on that early percentage. ChopperMag started out way faster out the gate. Bit of an unlucky portal play as well when the Monster Hulk stall came into play. So, ideally, we're going to see if the Gamma team up is going to still remain. Didn't get the dub the next one, but it might be well suited to this round, especially. We're talking about this map has a bit more higher walls and ceilings that aren't really gonna enable those to hide. If you want to get out into point, you want to get fighting, you're gonna be spotted by that squid. It's like a sort of cylinder, this point, when we're talking about this map on Celestial Hand. So we'll see how it opens up. Doors are going up, everybody's getting moving. Let's see who's gonna take this round.
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
Well, as you were mentioning, this is going to be a difficult round. We're considering all the ultimates kind of the ChopperMag has, but I mean, Ground Zero's not far behind. They're both having 3 available for this fight, so things could get quite exciting. I'm excited to see what's not Skittles able to get another big eat as his Jack is available, but we're going to start off with a Freedom Charge from Dead Story. Being able to do quite a lot of pushing forward. ChopperMag takes advantage, takes that loot, as the Atlas responds with the invisible boundary that the missionary is about to unlock. And so ChopperMag is going to drop onto the point and capture it immediately with that 1 player advantage.
Absolutely, the advantage that is going to get them securing that percentage starting up right now. And on top of that, they're also going to be pushing forward, and you know they've got ultimates on their side. Again, this is another situation where there's quite a couple ultimates that are online for them, but we're just going to take a little time out, get back to the action momentarily. As we know, there's a limited pause bank for these teams when we're talking about MRI, and last night as well, pauses were utilized. It gave teams that time to just regroup, reassess what you're doing, because nobody wants to just take a loss and then rush into the next game. Take a minute, breathe. You've got pause bank, use it if you can. Try to reassess what's next. Could be a technical issue, but most of the time could be a mental issue. So regroup your team, see what's next. I know these teams, they've got great coaching staff, and they're definitely working with the best of the best players in the region. So I'm keen to see what happens when we get back into the action. But yeah, so far, Ricey, what are you feeling so far from that performance coming out, especially from that Gamma team up? Just a bit shy to get that round win, but they're still deciding to run it this round.
Your Gamma team up, I versed it last night? It was not fun. It was definitely not fun to verse. Gamma team up is personally really annoying. But in this setting, ChopperMag is a very well-coordinated team. And if they are able to target those squids, they can shut them down fairly quickly. That might be what Bobo is focusing on, and maybe Skittles as well, with a very long range of attack. And so maybe ChopperMag are just neutralizing Lou's squids. But I think it is still doing quite a lot of damage. I'll have to see the stats afterwards. But what do you think about the Gamma team up?
Well, look, I think it's a tough one. I feel as though it's definitely getting outmatched at the moment, because we're talking about Bobo's Star-Lord just has so much momentum that even though you think that majority of the squid's pressure will be on someone flying like a Torch or an Ultron, Bobo's Star-Lord can just duck under cover quite quick compared to those other flyers. So when Bobo's there, and you've also got Pethig, who's like, you know, at times, you know, bringing out the Rocket. Rocket's kind of cooking right now. We're seeing more of Rocket Raccoon in play for MRI. It's just that extra bit of firepower and sort of elusiveness that allows them to just shred through the squids and get away from danger. But speaking of danger, let's get back into the danger zone as the game is back on.
The game is back on, and in this next fight, 2 ultimates on each team are available. Both having 1 strategist ultimate each, so we could have a bit of sustain, but Blue, in the neutral fight, does take down Bobo, who does get revived to the BRB beacon. Nothing too scary for ChopperMag just yet. They're able to keep sustaining themselves in this 6v6 situation and get some more percentage. Already 36% and counting.
There it is, the big action. Do it! The roundhouse taking out Adam. Emma v Emma goes in the favor of ChopperMag there. Squids are being set up, a lot of pressure coming out. Zenstari on the flank, on the cap, trying to get value. Blue is there, boxed in, facing Skittles as well. Trying to make sure they're going to go for the ones that are the deepest in the back line. Get the value. Salvation is there on the same time. That UF is going to drop the Psynix right there, just scooping up Ground Zero, but pushing them back into a corner. But Zenstari's just there in that same corner with the pressure of Captain America. But they hold him down. Ground Zero is very sustained. They're only down natural for now. Blue took a bit of damage, survived, but then Adam takes out Zenstari right there. Big value coming in for ChopperMag with Chokeslam. They're utilizing their boundary as well to keep him sustained, but it's a run out, and they're going to have to force Sonic to try to counter the Galactic Legend coming out from Bobo. But is it enough? And I think Skittles is going for a big time.
Yeah, he is. Skittles is going for it. I'm not sure if they managed to get anyone, though. as we have Patrick now using the CYA to try and amplify all the people around him, and is doing quite a bit of work. Look at the damage came out from Duet, who is full charge as well. Hulk's now going once to Hulk to stay alive and do something miraculous as ChopperMag approaches overtime. 99%. Overtime has been triggered, and sorry, going in with the freedom charge, trying to force everyone from Ground Zero back to try and claim this point and claim victory on this first map. ChopperMag doing so much damage, it's looking like it's gonna happen. Only a couple people are touching, so from Ground Zero. Out comes the last kick to ever come out and bring out the invisible boundary. And Jeff, though, it's Jeff time. Trying to find multiple members, it's looking good. Able to eat only one, but the undefeatable coming out from Red Team, maybe to turn this to Ground Zero.
Right now, it looks as though they're trying to exhaust all of the Ground Zero ultimates. So much so that Hogs is going to have to portal back in to keep the team sustained. But instead, Bubba's going to go full mark right here, hitting the Galactic Legend, taking out Revsy. Adam does take 50 in return. Trades are going out 1-1 on each side, trying to get the value. 99% is for ChopperMag. If Ground Zero walk off here, they're going to lose the map. They're going to keep it going, losing the skies on the Namor. Big plays right now. They take out Duet. They're pushing ChopperMag back there, slowly capturing it back. One by one, they do it. But, oh, you're right. Skittles does have a portal. Is it going to go off? Oh, we're enabling it. I do think Ground Zero clear the overtime and capture a point back.
Yeah, Ground Zero had the 1 or 2 player advantage for most of that fight, but ChopperMag kept holding it on for so long. They were able to use so many of their strategies, ultimates, to potentially turn things around for themselves. The portal came out too. They believed that they could try and turn this back into their favor, considering they only needed one fight win. But Ground Zero survived. They made it, and they are now in control of the control point. But of course, if they lose one fight from here, ChopperMag will walk away with the first win of this series. So there's so much pressure from Ground Zero right now. They have ultimates on hand, but they've already lost Netra. They've lost Atlas too. That's 2 strategists. Ground Zero have no strategists here. Like, this could be it.
And at the moment, that does mean ChopperMag cap it back, and Zensari is absolute flawed pressure with the full metal Captain America right there. Getting the value. Revsy goes down, overtime's ticking out, and ChopperMag do clear and take the entirety of domination. Celestial Husk is theirs. They do win their first map in this best of 5 series.
They do. ChopperMag win, and they win quite well. We've got to see, of course, Ground Zero do so much good work here in this series so far. Well, this one game, they looked really strong, and I really did like the Namor Gamma team up coming out. But I mean, Skittles did so much work on the Jeff. People like to say Jeff is easy, but I'd like to see you manage to eat 4 in one go while doing so much heals and sustaining. 8 final hits. That's more than anyone else on this team, including Bobo.
Absolutely, you know, massive value pouring in right there. So much power coming through. I will say that ChopperMag, though, just on the rotation, just a bit cleaner right there. You know, utilizing their ultimates mainly to counter whenever Ground Zero were popping off their ultimates to try and take. Every time we saw 2 to go in, then ChopperMag would send 1 to try and neutralize it and get value back. And there it is. ChopperMag do win domination. They win the first map here in this series against Ground Zero. But, you know, we can have a look at the best moments. And it did start off with a big whale from Lou.
They did. That big whale was absolutely massive. I mean, Lou, we see the stats too. 6 and 4, but it's 6 final hits, and we can see them do so much work. But of course, it's the strategists that have done so much work in this game. There were not many eliminations at all, and that's because of the sustain coming out. But look at Zensari as well. So good on so many different heroes. Captain America, Groot, Venom, and in this game was always in the back line and just absolutely dominating those strategists.
Absolutely, absolute domination, which is in the name of the map itself right there, and that's the value they got. But how it's going to be now, you know, we're going to see Ground Zero have a bit of the ball in their court. They can choose this max map. Let's see if they're going to utilize something that we feel might catch on to ChopperMag's weaknesses. Now, those who are paying attention, we know how these teams play. We've been watching them for quite a long time. We're talking about these teams had an earlier form of themselves in stage 1 of Ignite. So these teams, these players, they know each other, waiting to see how that's going to play out in the bans. At the moment, everyone's playing it safe. Banning out the Ultron or protecting it. We're banning out the Mantis or protecting it. At the same time, trying to get any other strategists out of the options as well. Big one is Adam Warlock. But
yes,
target picking might be key to get what strategists you want. But right now, is target banning the answer to try and nullify some of the carry potential on the opposing team.
Yeah, potentially. We did see, I think, I can't remember who it was. I have to double check. But someone, I think it was Vulcan Red, they target banned the Vanguard against ChopperMag, which I thought was really interesting. So I'm not sure if Ground Zero want to try a book or a chapter from Vulcan Red's book and, you know, target some of the Vanguard players instead, or if they want to do more meta banning and protecting, of course, and stick to the strategists, because I mean those strategists are extremely powerful, and we can see Jeff in this game do so much good work, like Skittles MVP, being able to do lots of damage and heals and everything. But so of course is the triple strategist lineup just in general. Just it's so strong at the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely stronger than ever. And we're going to Araco. Araco is going to be a nice divisive map for these teams. There is the Pit of Despair, which means we might see something a bit spicy early on. We're talking about, we'll probably have the Bucky for the hook, could even bring in Angela with the spear, even Spider-Man with a bit of thwip action. It all depends how they want to play this early position. But I know these teams very well. The most likely scenario is we're getting the triple compositions, and we're going to go to full Vanguard, full strategist lineups at the front door. So that's going to be interesting. Keen to see how it unfolds when we get into that action, I'll tell you that. But right now, they've had a little bit of a breather. Let's see if Ground Zero can get their first map win in this victory. We're going to go into that next game right on quick as well. We're getting into it very soon. It's going to be map 2 between Ground Zero and ChopperMag. Can't wait.
Neither can I, like it. Neither can I. As you mentioned, of course, we're going to such a very fun, exciting map. Aroka, right? How do you say it again? How do you?
Araco. I think it's Araco. Yeah.
My bad. I did that on stream the other night as well. I kept calling it Aroka instead of Araco. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Aroka. That's the one.
Yeah.
Could be.
But it's going to be a great map. And you're right. We do see like triple so many times on this map. We saw it yesterday when they were in MRI yesterday. Who was it that played Aroka? Do you remember? Aroka?
Ooh, that's a good. I believe if I recall, was that the matchup? Was it the matchup with Vulcan Red? It might have been, because Vulcan Red, we know they do bring out the Angela themselves. Could have been their option to bring into play, but at the same time, you know, it's gonna be interesting here. I'm gonna suspect double Ultron ban started. Actually, this actually makes more sense. This is actually very wise right now. This is smart. So ChopperMag have made sure to ban. I think this is going to be a Jeff protect right here, because if they ban out Ground Zero's Jeff, they might protect them. Yep. They've locked it in for Skittles again. They're going for the Pit of Despair play. This could be Jeff-tastic.
It could be Jeff-tastic, but I think Ground Zero, I'm wondering if they're trying to prevent the triple. Maybe they're going to go hard and ban. Yeah, of course they're going to ban Mantis. That makes sense. It does make sense. But I kind of want to see them ban more Vanguards to try and prevent a triple. But maybe they're not going to be able to fully lock out a triple.
That is true. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about hero diversity pools and the limits that you can push beyond right now. Even if we do ban out 4 Vanguards, you know, there's still so many more in the pool that they can pick from. Even the obscure picks like Thing, Groot, maybe even Penny, still devastating picks on Araco especially. So, depends how they play it. So, I do see why both teams are just targeting the strategist for now. At the same time, Lunar Protect makes quite a lot of sense, but this is more important than ever. Is this going to be the double Ultron round ban?
One Ultron and one Invisible Woman is very fascinating. I'm not really sure we've seen many Invisible Women bans. That one's quite rare, but it's very exciting, very spicy.
You know what is spicy? Are Ground Zero going to lock in that spicy Ultron Protect? It's open. Could be there. I think they're tempted to take it. They're deciding if they're going to actually run it. It looks like they're going to go Adam instead.
No, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm wondering here whether or not ChopperMag is going to be banning another strategist. They banned 3 already. No, they're going to ban the Emma Frost. Okay. So the bans actually are ending up fairly similar with 3 strategists, 1 Vanguard ban. But ChopperMag here might be wanting to protect another strategist, potentially, to try and make sure that they can do a triple strategist lineup for themselves. Because they've got Jeff, and yet they're going to protect themselves, Luna, Snow. So Ground Zero, if they want to ban 1 more strategist, they might be looking at Adam Warlock, maybe.
Could be a factor. Might even be Sue Storm. We're going to see if they really want to lock out the Adam, because Adam Warlock, whether it's Pethic or Boba, will be very lethal. Let's see what they decide to target out. And it's going to be the Doctor Strange. Okay. Like we said yesterday, Doctor Strange is one of probably the most aura-filled bans. When you ban out Doctor Strange, you're basically saying, we are not allowing you to get any last chance efforts, any last ditch efforts, any hope is going out of that portal and out of this map right there. So Strange not being online for ChopperMag is going to be a tough one, but I'm excited because it brings out the Zen Star regroup. It's been a minute, and if there is a map to see it, we could see it, but maybe even Angela. Wait, Dweeb's taking the group.
Dweeb's taking Groot? Yeah, that's what I was waiting, not the Angela. It was Dweeb hovering Groot. I mean, you and I, we love Zensari on Groot, but I've never really, to my memory, seen Dweeb on Groot.
Hold a minute. Are we? Okay, wait a minute. It's back. Hold on. Are we getting an Angela mirror match? We have yet to see this in MRI OCE. This is what we're talking about. Season 4, baby. Let's get into it. Hogs on the Angela versus Zenstar and the Angela. Listen, we saw Tini Valkyrie's Angela, but never did we see Tini get to go toe-to-toe with another Angela. I want to see some aerial combat between the Angelas. This could be fun.
It could be extremely fun here, Liger. And if we get a Phoenix and a Storm as well, I mean, more like Storm, we're going to have a lot of air battles indeed. Ground Zero don't have any flyers for themselves. They're running triple strategist, triple Vanguard 100%, while ChopperMag are running the 2-2-2 actually. They're not choosing to run triple at all. But I am so excited for this Angela gameplay to come through. Pepper go on Storm is going to be absolutely scary, but what is this kidnap? It's huge!
Absolute spear action right there, just scooping them up, but enough time for them to fly around and retreat to their team. It looks like Hogs trying to get the angle, going direct and forward. They get the freeze! They get the freeze on Zensari, but flies away with a shield protector right there. And at the same time, seeing if they get it, they do get the spear, they do bring Boba. Boba face shifts out of there. The Phoenix is just so hard to absolutely take down, but oh, we're already going to the end zone! Holy,
what? That is so fast, and double KO for Bobo. Absolutely insane gameplay coming up, and they're being able to get the ultimate that quickly and immediately popping it, knowing that they will be able to confirm themselves some picks. And so with that, ChopperMag are pushing forward, and they're pushing forward quite quickly. 2-2-2 apparently is the name of the game here. They're able to beat out against the triple. Maybe 2-2-2 isn't that bad after all.
So whenever you're going to bring out the triple Vanguard composition alongside triple strategist, usually the counter, I've heard the stories, is the Storm, and Petty's just going to run it. This is the team that actually brought out triple back in stage 1, and even on the mid-season final stage, that's going to be that ChopperMag roster, but it looks like they're confident to counter the strategy that they brought into play. At the same time, it's a big Jeff Nader coming through. Big power coming through from Perfect and Skittles right there. And they're going to take out half of Ground Zero, but so much so that gets a 5k comic revival. Massive value right there. That keeps the fight going. They're going to get amped up by Revsy as well. And they're going to go for a full-on brawl. Hogs hits the heaven fall and they crash on down. But Zensari takes out Revsy and Lou. So much value pouring in from both teams right now. We're going to see a freedom charge as well from Adam to keep him sustained. But the numbers game is not in favor for Ground Zero. And I think ChopperMag is going to have enough sauce to be able to push it through. And more time is added to their bank.
Yeah, ChopperMag do cap. Ground Zero had the makings of something wonderful though. We got to see Atlas give us a 5-player comic revival. It was absolutely beautiful. And then, followed up with the CYA. I thought maybe Ground Zero could have held it there, but no. ChopperMag with Zensari's Heaven's Fall was absolutely gorgeous. Able to get so many members of Ground Zero and were able to eliminate them very quickly and succinctly, giving them so much time back here. Over 4 minutes for the second phase.
Absolutely right there, But a 4-minute time back, it's going to dwindle down very quickly, especially when we're talking about this section of the map. Second section, midpoint of Baraka, is very hard to push. We're talking about 2 uphill sections and a pillar that blocks your path, and at the same time, a high ground balcony for the defending team to composite with. But at the same time, Perfect's trying to land some hooks and trying to displace Ground Zero. But Ground Zero is confident they can hold this high ground, dive in and out with Hogs on the Venom and get value where they need. But I can hear the marks of the Phoenix right there. Boba is just absolutely farming already ready for another Endsong Inferno. But instead, Lou's going to be the one to bring out the fire first.
What? And frozen. And out comes the boundary from Skittles as well to let ChopperMag push forward further as Zensari takes down Revsy. Goes for more, of course, but Lou Supernova does end without much of a bang coming out from Ground Zero. They're not able to hold the defense here as out comes Netra's played about clouds. Going to be answered with Bobo, who's holding, waiting for a good time to land it as long as possible to try and make Netra get taken out, and then comboed with their Meteor duet, claiming the life of Netra.
Absolutely right there, but the Eternal Bond is down. That's the sustain coming through. And then Dangerous mixing. Oh my days, the Meteor is combining alongside Regis and Sun to get a double KO for Adam right there. Absolutely. Adam is back on our screens. It's been a minute. Welcome to the party. Hog's going to get the value taken out Bobo as well. That's going to be Ground Zero, stopping ChopperMag's push for now. And again, just like you called it, Ricey, 4 minutes already down to 2 in the time bank.
Yeah, ChopperMag is not able to push up this hill just yet. It's such a difficult hill, as you mentioned, like to try and climb up. They don't have any ultimates available for this next phase just yet. But of course, they are building it up. 70%, Bobo is sitting at 70%, and we've seen Bobo on this Phoenix get the ultimate very, very quickly, but still Ground Zero have more available right now. They have pulse already, and Lou's sitting at 80% for themselves too. Adam on the Magneto is so fun to watch though, especially when they're combining the Meteor with Revsy's. Oh, we have a pause. We have a pause here, Liger. Hold your absolute moments right there. We're not getting into the midst of it yet. We're going to go for a pause. Like I said, when momentum goes a certain way, you need to take a breather. Utilize your pause timer as much as you can to try and reassess what the next game plan is. I do like that these teams rolled out with the Angela composition early, but now as things are moving down to the middle of Araco, both these teams really got to assess, all right, what are we really doing here? What is our game plan for Araco? We started out with what we thought was confident around the Pit of Despair. Pit of Despair is all the way in the past now. So how are they going to play in this uphill section now? I'm just looking at what these teams have at the moment, and I really do think that this Venom mirror match and Magneto mirror match, as well as Phoenix mirror match, is where things are kind of interesting, seeing how these two teams are using these ultimates in kind of very similar ways, with the Phoenix being combined with the Meteor. ChopperMag does have the Ensong Inferno available, but Duep doesn't have the Meteor just yet. So Bobo might be wanting to hold on to the Ensong Inferno and try and do that massive combo again. Or maybe they want to do something, wanting to try something different. But yeah, Ground Zero just don't quite have the same number of ultimates at the moment, as ChopperMag Skittles now has Fate of Both Worlds available as well.
Yeah, but Fate of Both Worlds is going to cause a lot of sustain and pain for the teams if they don't get the value they want from it. But you also got to bring into contention. Every time we see this Skittles Zenstar composition on a Lunastone Venom, you know they're going for the attack boosted absolute abyss right there. So if they get that off in this next fight, that's going to crunch through a lot of Ground Zero. But I think we're jumping back into it. Eyes on Adam and the Magneto.
Yeah, we're watching Adam at the moment. He's sitting at 70% to the Meteor, but it's going to be Hog starting it off with the Feast of the Abyss. Bobo, unfortunately, does get knocked out. No Ensong Inferno coming out from them, as that goes straight to both Worlds and Skittles. Venom going in from Zenstar this time, try and get something. Duep does take down Revsy, so both of the Phoenixes have been traded out. Meteor going to be used on Duep. He's trying to fight Lou, does miss as Lou ducks and dodges and weaves out of the way. Supernova coming out from Lou, things could get nasty as outcomes. The invisible boundary to keep themselves sustained.
I am ready to put on a show.
Oh, speaking of sustain, they're going in. They're trying to sustain an opportunity for themselves to stay in the defensive positions here. ChopperMag do timeout on the Galactic Legend for now. At the same time, we're going to see massive potential pouring in right there. Adam does have the Meteor M online alongside the Ensong Inferno. Could be another big double combo for them if they decide to hit the Wombo, but it all depends for Zensari in the back line. Farming up, taking the Bulwark Shield from Duep for now. Building up their potential once again. But Panzer's got the all advantage. It's going to have to be ChopperMag to try and get a pick in the flank. And there it is, starting it off. Bobo getting the dance of the butterfly in the backline. But petty caking is not enough for themselves, as Lou is the one left to be taken out. While the strats stay around. But it looks like it's going to be Alice with a clean Eternal Bond there to pick off Skittles in the back. And the numbers are dwindling down for ChopperMag. And it looks in favor for GZ.
Yeah, I thought maybe Bobo might have changed things around with that dance of the butterfly. As you mentioned, the pattern caking worked for the strategist in the backline of Ground Zero, but Lou did get taken out. But now things are still working in the favor of Ground Zero. Out comes So many ultimates from Ground Zero's Hogs that started the Feast of the Biz, but ChopperMag have 4 available. And they're going to start it off with the Invisible Boundary. Now another Feast of the Biz from Zen's side, but we'll take down Ramsey Hog falls too. Blue as well, and they're just 3 meters away from touching. They make it to the end. ChopperMag still in this game. 1.5 minutes left on the clock for them.
Absolutely, time is now climbing for them. It's going to be very tough. You can't take any losses here if you want to make it to the end of Araka. Rarely do teams actually take it to the end. But we'll see ultimately how it unfolds. Meteor M online. Skittles has the Fate of Both Worlds. Closer than ever is Ground Zero to their own Fate of Both Worlds, and even an Song Inferno of their own. But reality is, we're all waiting on a moment for both teams to act right now. Who's going to take that first fight? Bit of Panther action coming out from Petty. They do bait out the Fate of Both Worlds. Nitra knows that in the blink of an eye, your team can disappear when the King of Wakanda is near. But you're going to have to make a move because Magneto is in the skies. That's Dunkmaster Duop going to land a shot. Doesn't get the combo, but it's a big Panther. That's right, the Royal Bus coming in from Petty. And Bobo's going to dance too.
And lots of damage has been dealt onto Ground Zero. 4 members have fallen. Moving next to the last one's left. They inevitably fall as well. 30 seconds left. ChopperMag is making good progress. But will they be able to cap this entire map? It's such a big distance, and with the spawn doors right there, it's going to be a very much an uphill battle for ChopperMag to try and make sure that Ground Zero are not respawning in time to get Arako to the end.
It is right there. The question is, did the FBs get anybody as a pick? Alice in the background taking out Salvation. They're chasing down the strat. Skittles is down. Duop is down. That's 3 down for ChopperMag. But who's left on the mark right there? Who's left holding it down? That's Lou on the Bucky action. Taking out Zenstar. Big crunch coming through from Hogs. And Adam with a double K to finish out and take Bertic and Boba. That's going to stop the ChopperMag push for now. And a cheeky Spider-Man Duop is not enough to stall.
Yes, not enough. Spider-Man could not save the world for ChopperMag in this particular universe. 114 meters though in that third phase, is not too bad. That could be what ChopperMag need to be able to win this map, but I think Ground Zero have a strong chance to make it to the end here. I'm very curious to see what they end up picking on attack and on defense. ChopperMag, we got to see them run 2-2-2 on attack. And on Ground Zero's defense, we got to see them run triple-triple. So maybe ChopperMag want to run triple-triple on their defense too, to try and keep themselves alive and sustained for as long as possible.
I'll tell you that is actually the key more than ever. So what I'm noticing as well, it's a bit more of a mobile triple composition, not really like a great wall that they want to like try to hold in the front line, because we're talking about normally the Groot is brought to play, Magneto, but instead they're kind of going for a bit of a, I almost want to say dive composition, a dive triple composition. This is very interesting. It really is an in and out sort of composition. I'm curious to see how it's going to perform. Haven't seen it too much on our Ignite screens, but we'll see if it's enough. However, Ground Zero, they are kind of going in with that wall comp that I predicted. They're actually the ones bringing out what normally ChopperMag would. They're going to bring out the Groot and the Strange.
Yeah, a bit of a wall vanguard lineup from Ground Zero, and ChopperMag running Captain America, Angela, and Venom is very much a get in, get out. Disrupt the enemy. Get picks if you can. Sort of dive, as you were mentioning. So it's exciting to see how ChopperMag is going to use this on defense. We can see Patrick getting into the backline, getting low, of course, but able to pop that shield, not go before Renzi is able to completely eliminate them. The revive beacon though will be able to bring back Patrick, but now Ground Zero able to push forward a tiny little bit. ChopperMag though, of course, still here as a 6-player team.
They're going to have to coordinate their dives. That goes for both right now as they're trying to make it happen and move forward. Looks like a bit of spear action coming out from Zenstar and the Angela there. Duop is there to finish off, take out Lou. They did spear the Punisher away from their team. That reduces the damage output pouring in from Ground Zero, but they're still holding defensively with the Groot lineup in the front, backed up by the Sorcerer Supreme. Speaking of the Supreme Sorcerer right there, Adam going to the high ground, chasing down Skittles. Big Eldritch Whip taking out Bobo, taking out the Jet, and Skittles follows suit. That's 2 down for ChopperMag. Their sustain is down the drain, but Salvation is still there, holding it down, and Boundary is online if they want to keep this still going, and it's going to go up from Salvation.
It is. It's going off from ChopperMag as they keep themselves sustained here on defense. So Atlas returns the favor with a Eternal Bond on the ground. The Bobo is on the way back, and they also have their strategist ultimate Its gem is available. Skittles is only 8% away from the amplifier as well. We're going to start off with the gem. If they're able to eat anything big, as Revsy goes to try to survive against the Jeffo and also take down Bobo. No, Bobo is going to get revived with the BRB medium. As Skittles doesn't get to use the amplifier in time, as Ground Zero goes hard with the move on the impact.
That is an impact right there. Massive value. Zenstari is getting picks on the Angela right there. The spear action is primed. Look, listen, it's actually working for them. This sort of pseudo dive, triple Vanguard, triple strategist composition is actually paying off dividends right now for ChopperMag. Let's see if they can hold it there, but I will tell you, bring on your minds right there. You know, Pethig is close to the abyss. And the only one with an ultimate is Skittles with Amplifier, so maybe that's going to be the value they need. But big players are coming through. Duep's going for it, getting value. They're taking out Netro, they're taking out Atlas, and another Revsy, and Adam. That's another. I guess that's a winning fight for ChopperMag right there. But Ground Zero still managed to collect some ult charge, and maybe their next fight is the one where they activate.
Yeah, currently no ults for Ground Zero, but as you mentioned, they are collecting a little bit of ult charge at the moment because in this game, ultimates are so powerful and really important to cycle through. As ChopperMag do have three, as Salvation is sitting at 86% available for ChopperMag in this next fight. But Ground Zero, they have only just one. Revsy has only just hit 80% now for this next fight. If they can even get there, so second left, Ground Zero seems to be struggling as Zenstari takes down Netro, forces her up into the air, and takes them out. But Skittles has been taken out in return, and so has Atlas now. It's a bit of a back and forth, but these poor strategists are getting hard targeted.
They are absolutely getting blitzed by the Angela right there. The spear action is absolutely lethal coming out from Heavenfall. That will be online very, very soon. But who's going to go off? It's going to be Lou with the dance of the butterfly in the back line for ChopperMag. But they're patty caking and keeping everybody sustained. Everybody knows where they're going right now. Zenstar is on the flank. They're trying to get the angle they need. Let's see if they can pour on in. Bethig's on the high ground. So is Duep. They're going to double dive into the backline strategist and try to get value here. Big shields. Another spear taking out Hogs right there. And that's Duep taking out Revsy. They're diving on in. 10 seconds left right now. Does anybody get the value? Adam flies back from safety, almost getting speed off the map by Zenstari. A clean save. And speaking of a save, that's going to be a boundary drop in forward from Salvation at the same time as Netra's faded both worlds. Both teams sustained. Overtime's ticking off. Assemble. That's right. Freedom charge is going off too. And everybody's going crazy as Freedom is pouring into both teams' backlines.
Hogs being able to keep the team alive, but Ground Zero alive, but down comes the Heavenfall from Zenstari. It's massive. And a Bobo combining it with the big E. Gosh, how many people they get? They managed to get only a couple. But Netro does get taken out. Alice is finally back. And where did he get turned upon? The other saying Ground Zero for a little bit. And as much as they can, but Adam and Revsy both get taken out before it's able to do much good for them. Atlas dangerously low, tries to survive, dodge, and duck and weave in the mist. But it's going to be very difficult as overtime is ticking down. Ground Zero will get back in control again, but Lou and Atlas have both been taken out. ChopperMag has the advantage. They're so close to Cat and taking over the Aroka as well, and they do it. ChopperMag win the second map.
2-2.
Yes, they do. They claim Arakko here on Convoy. They're going to be very confident knowing that they've got their 2-point lead, and all they're going to do is win one more map to lock themselves into the finals for MIOCE. Playoff stage, I'll tell you that. It's a good position to be in. Every team wants to be in this position. You know, one step away from a victory. But Freedom charges all around. We're putting in the MVP work. And that's going to be a lead for ChopperMag claimed again. Ground Zero behind 2 maps. Now's the time to show signs of a fight. It's going to be a tough one. But let's see if they can pull through. I feel like they've collected some information. They can have a little bit of downtime, a little bit of a break before they get into this next map. And most importantly, what information have they now collected from the composition that's coming up from ChopperMag? Because they stellarly performed here, alternated their picks, brought up some diversity and some new picks. I don't even think the banning phase affected them much at all.
Yeah, the banning phase was very interesting. I think it was still pretty decent, but like you said, it barely affects them with all the deep hero pool that they have. Amazing plays coming out from Angela. We got to see a little bit of Psylocke as well in hands of Bobo. It was kind of really fun being able to see those picks, that dive sort of composition coming out with the Venom and the Angela as well. So much aggression coming out from ChopperMag, even on the defensive as well. They were aggressive and getting the correct picks and able to turn things into their favor. So it was really exciting to see ChopperMag bring out the big guns of Angela, like all the dive Vanguard.
Absolutely. We love that. I like to see a triple dive Vanguard composition. That was exciting. That was fun. That was something different.
Well, we are in the middle of a best of 5. Currently, ChopperMag is 2, while Ground Zero is sitting at 0. So we are ChopperMag's only 1 game away from claiming this series. But Ground Zero have to go through 2 whole games to be able to tie up. Let's see what happens in the next game right after this break.
Smoke screen! I'm hunkering down. Judge! Jury! Executioner!
I want your soul. Hell unleashed!
Welcome back. We are here in the second day of playoffs of Marvel Rivals Ignite Oceania Stage 2, and it is so exciting. We are in the upper bracket finals at the moment between Ground Zero and, of course, ChopperMag, who is currently sitting 2 games up over Ground Zero right now. They are only 1 game away from securing their place in the grand finals, securing themselves a top 2.
This is a big deal. This is a big deal right now. This is going to be a tough one because the winning team comfortably locks themselves into the grand finals. Then they get to chill for the rest of the night and inspect the competition leading up to the final matchup tomorrow night. But until then, we're still here for what could potentially be a final map. It all depends if ChopperMag deliver it home, and now they're going to take it home. They're going to take it back to the Galactic Empire of Wakanda. We're going to Hall of Jalia for this third map. It's going to be interesting to see if Ground Zero, maybe, just maybe, with a bit of a defensive position to start us off, do they start the reverse sweep? There's potential. There's always potential.
Yeah, you're never out until it's over. I don't know what the saying is, but you get what I mean. It's never over till it's over. And of course, Ground Zero, we've seen some magnificent things coming out from them. I really love what they're doing in the ban phase, of course, as well. And I think the coaches on both of these teams have been really studying deep. They've been totally looking into each other's play styles and histories and matches and everything like that to try and study each other as hard as they can and ban, of course, the most important heroes away from the other team.
Absolutely. That is exactly what is going on. The highest tier of play, the highest tier of analyzing, and the highest tier of VOD reviewing. I'll tell you that at the same time here happening as these teams are, up there trying to make it happen. That's why they're at the top 2 position at the moment here, and it's Kanga and Vulcan Red who are fighting for their life in the lower bracket. But here we go, map 3. It's going to be between Ground Zero and ChopperMag. Let's see if ChopperMag can claim their 3rd win in a row and take it straight to the grand finals, or will it be Ground Zero who turn the tides and make this series go in their favor?
It really does come down to this. We are on Hall of Jalia, and this is going to be a convergence map, of course, which I think is really fun. Be able to test a few different skills and strategies on this map. Of course, convergence, where you have to attack the control point first up, capture it, capture all 3 ticks, and then take the mission vehicle all the way to the end. And getting it to the end on this map is usually one of the more difficult maps, with that choke points, 2 choke points to try and get through those the doorways.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how it all unfolds. I really wonder, these early bans, what that's going to unfold for these teams, because there's a lot of factors to consider here. I will also mention, when we're talking about, oh, there it is. I actually was waiting for this. I think it's locked in. Ground Zero, they don't have access to the Ultron, but at the same time, ChopperMag has locked in Ultron for themselves. That's going to be a tough one right there. Same sort of thing happening now on the other side. Ground Zero are going to lock in Mantis for themselves. As you said, right? See, these two, they've got, well, I believe it was last time we checked, 96% pick and ban rate for Mantis at the moment. Or was it Ultron, one or the other?
Yep.
I believe the other one was close to about 88%.
Ultron.
Crazy numbers. Ultron,
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
Insane.
absolutely crazy numbers. Ultron has been banned and protected 96% of times. Now, when we say times, we do mean both sides, right? So I would say he's been appearing in every single game. I have to double check that, because 44 bans and 8 saves on Ultron during the group stage. Mantis was close behind, sitting at 87%, and we can see this happening here again. But Jeff has been, I think, a bit more appearance here in the playoff so far. Both teams are currently banning Jeff. There's a lot of fear around Jeff, but Lunar Snow is going to be the saves for the strategists here. A bit of interesting things coming up with the second half of the ban phase. Both teams are actually opting to ban out duelists. Actually make that 2 duelists. Ground Zero have decided to ban out both Human Torch and Star-Lord.
Okay, well, let's... Oh, there's no way. There's no way we're getting down to the Stark Protocol team up this early in the night. Are we finally going to see some Iron Man coming out from Boba? That's going to be exciting to see if that actually rolls on out. But Adam Warlock is available for ChopperMag this time around. They might bring it out because they did lose access to the Human Torch and Star, which means I have a feeling we're going to see that triple strategist lineup, and it's going to be Adam, Warlock, and Ultron providing a lot of firepower coming out as well. But we're going to Jalia, the beautiful, absolutely glorious empire of Wakanda, the Galactic Empire, I should say. A lot of cool things happening in Marvel Rivals lore, and one of them is that Wakanda out here expanding and just having a, you know, expanding their domain, as they say. But at the end of the day, you know, it's the end of the day. But what really is happening is my puns are running out, and I just want to get into the games, right? See, I just want to get into the action. But what I also noticed is things are looking a bit green once again.
Green? Are you telling me there might be a Hulk flagger in this game? A Hulk and possibly Namor?
3, 2,
Ooh,
1.
could be, maybe even one day,
You have to stop that
Green
from
Goblin.
securing the
I'm looking at you, Marvel Rivals devs. Make it happen. That'll be a flying strategist who does not heal their team, but prevents healing on the enemy team. I don't know. I could see the reality of Green Goblin being an anti-strategist. That would be so cool.
Well, in this game, we have Ground Zero playing the Namor Gamma team up once again. We saw them play it in the first game. Did a fair bit of damage. We're trying to, you know, cause the Flyers a lot of trouble. And since Salvation is playing Ultron and Bobo playing Iron Man, it could be interesting to see what ends up happening, whether or not they are able to disable that. But Hulk gets actually brought down into Bruce and taken out immediately. Bobo doing quite a lot of damage on this Iron Man, which we haven't really seen, I think, at all this entire stage 2. So it's super exciting to see as ChopperMag get the first tick.
Big Valley coming forward. 3 minutes climbing. They're just capping it. They're just capping it. Ground Zero's got to make moments right now. Got to get on there and start contesting. Get your ultimates going up. Get the action impactful. There it is in Starry on the double axe formation. Angela is still here, and I like what I'm seeing with the Iron Man. Just a lot of pressure pouring in. And speaking of pressure, it's building. It's enraging the Ultron in the skies right now. And it's going to be so much into the spear action as they take Netra out of the boundary. But it's not enough. Then sorry, taken out by Netra with the clapping from the Luna right there. Duep is getting some value as well, taking out Hawks. It's going to be 1-to-1 on each side, taken down. But the value is there. It's coming forward from Duep. He's going to hit the absolute Psionic right now, and it's going to be matched with a big whale coming in from Lou, and it crashes down. Taking out the Adam Warlock. Pethic right there. Do they have Cocoon? Do they have the value to return? Skills is getting picks. Pethic does have Cocoon, brings him back into the fight. Angela, that's right, and Starry's diving forward. They do KO the Lou, and they are capping, but possession is still in play as Hogs is diving in.
Had an attempt to use Meteor, but gets completely annihilated as he rises to the sky. And the defenses from Ground Zero do crumble. ChopperMag claim the first checkpoint. And then Starry here on Angela manages to get one last pick and, you know, spear them out. With so many ultimates now available for this next fight, ChopperMag are looking so primed and ready to take their mission vehicle even further.
Absolutely right there. That's the goal. They're going to keep on Wing forward for themselves. Making moments, making magic happen right now as they are moving deeper and deeper into Jalia, but the Heaven Fall goes down and says sorry, gets the enemy, but gets frozen before they can follow on up. But it doesn't matter because Bobby's going to be there, landing some shots, held on the firepower. Then Sorry retreats to their team, flies away to safety. At the same time, Revsy's building up the marks of the Phoenix, trying to get their charge on up. But it's going to start off with Hogs diving on into the absolute tendril slam, and then it's going to be returned with Salvation dropping the Rage of Ultron, which is going to be matched by Alice with the boundary right there. Trade off the trade. Boba taken out by Netra. Big pick right there, taking out the Iron Man.
Pethic is going to be calling the revive coming through. Salvation gets revived as well with Pethic. Sorry, Revsy takes him out. Skittle takes out another strategist as well, that of course gets revived by Pethic. So much damage coming out from Revsy, but ChopperMag currently being able to counter it with the Karmic Revival, but of course Karmic Revival will end. So Skittles is going to bring Fate of both belts to keep ChopperMag alive and sustained. Lou's going to return the favor with Soul Resurgence. Ground Zero are holding this defense strong. They've managed to get rid of a minute or so from ChopperMag, but of course they want to hold longer. They want to hold stronger, as now things are going to turn into a slow lull for a little bit with only... Wait, I lied. Revsy gets taken out by Duep. Duep going hard on the high ground. I thought maybe with less ultimates available, things could go into a slow moment, but Ground Zero is being completely pushed back.
Whoa, max pulse from Boba just to push Ground Zero back, give themselves some momentum and just some space to work with right now. That does put them on the back foot, but that does allow ChopperMag to be pushing forward. Salvation does have Rage of Ultron if they need. They're also close to the Ebb and Fall. Adam's there. Meteor M is online. It could be big. Rage starts on up and it winds up and it's going to be a spear from Zensari. Absolutely scooping forward. Adam denying the chance of the Meteor, and they did cancel the Meteor with a spear. My goodness, massive value coming out from the Angela, but value is incarnate because Alice is there with the boundary big slam. Heaven Fall from Zenstari into the Resurgence coming in from Lu. Everybody's trading ults, everybody's trading value, trying to get momentum. ChopperMag, but they're stalled by Ground Zero using their ultimate. The question is, who's got the deciding ultimate to start the fight, to wind it up? Ramsey's landing some big shots here, and the end song is online, but is it gonna fly?
Is it gonna fly? It's gonna be though the fatal focus of natural flying instead. And they're gonna be using the common revival. Able to bring back two, but Skittles can take it out as well. Also revived, of course. Netra now runs out of the fatal focus. So it's now Skittles' turn to bring on a show. Netra takes out the weapon, gets revived still, and Ramsey falls down. The defense from Ground Zero base starts to be crumbling now. Netra's dangerously low. He's able to survive, but Adam will not. Hobbs is also dangerously low as Salvation takes down Netra in the backlines, going after Atlas as well. No more strategies for Ground Zero. Salvation doing so much damage from the sky with the rage of Ultron.
Absolutely aggressive right there. Aggressive. I just combined aggression and aggressive. My goodness. That is just exactly what I saw, because just Ultron raging made me want to get enraged too. I'll tell you that. It's just absolutely stellar performance coming out from Salvation in the skies. Normally we've seen Peppy or Boba bring out the Ultron, but I like it. Again, I have to bring note. Hero diversity. Rules are crazy coming out from ChopperMag. Every time we see this team, the lineup is just, it's always different than the last time. They really are swapping around and just always keeping things off on a different tangent. But at the same time, I will say the try to choose strategies come into play often more than that. And every time I see a Magneto coming out from Adam, I usually know big things are coming, and the Meteor is finally online.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, Liger. Yes, Meteor is online for Adam. We've seen two cancels in a row coming out. Will Adam be able to land this? Hogs going in for the Feast of the Abyss, as well as Lee going in for the Supernova. Resi, though, takes them out. Resi doing so much damage on Ground Zero. And with that, Ground Zero are able to hold the defense quite a fair bit here. Looping out a second Salvation. Rosie finally taking down Skittles as well. Clean fight coming out from Ground Zero, and they still have two strategist ultimates. Atlas and Netra are online, but as you mentioned, the Meteor, I definitely want to keep my eyes out on Adam. Will ChopperMag cancel Adam's ultimate once more? Skittles, of course, can freeze, but there is no more Angela.
No more Angela, indeed. They're going to bring out the El Classic. Tree Trunking Zenstari. Big Dragu is on our screens, but is it going to be enough? Insane value right there. How does a Blue take out a Lu in the skies on the Human Torch? That is massive value. Perfect takes out Hogs as well. That is just pouring in the Rage of Ultron from Salva again, just giving the team so much sustain when they're trying to inflict pain. But over there, Ground Zero is getting big. Ramsey's taken down from Skittles again. It's going to be a lot of firepower down from Ground Zero. Salvation getting a pick on Netra. Alice falls to do up, and Skittles takes out Adam again. Double KOs coming in from Skittles on the Luna. Snow, that's, you know, they're pushing forward. Zenstari knows where the spawn is, and he's going to start setting up some cone/wall positionings for the team right there. But that was also online. That's 5 ultimates online for ChopperMag, Ricey. It could get very hot very soon.
It could get very hot. Speaking of hot, yes, he mentioned Phoenix and Tongue of Inferno is available. Lose Supernova at 70% as well. So many ultimates online for both teams. First one is going to be the common rival from Patrick, able to bring back Sensari, Duet, and Skittles. And so ChopperMag are still pushing forward. Grid is going to use the Strangling Prison. I'm not sure how many he got able to kidnap though, as the shield from Atlas will keep the team of Ground Zero alive and sustained. The defenders are here to hold down the fort as long as possible. So many ultimates, so much time, little time left in this overtime situation. Rage of Ultron gets used by Lu, takes down Lu. Out comes a massive fight coming up from Salvation. Adam does use the Meteor, but it won't find anyone. ChopperMag is still pushing forward.
Honestly, I'm seeing dividends paid off from that save on Ultron right there. There's so much firepower and sustain pouring in from Salvation all game long. It makes sense that they pushed to the end there with that pick. That was a pick not to let go through the bans, I'll tell you that. But now it's Ground Zero's turn to get on the offensive. And I know they can do it. So if they can bring out some of that power right now, because this is potentially their last chance in this matchup. So what that means is they need to go full attack power, full force, figure out a way that they can push through the same distance and take this back around, and both teams push once again on Jalliai, taking this into overtime. But I will say, Gamma team up early. Maybe it looks like ChopperMag is going to go for the Gamma defense and see if they can run it better than Ground Zero did. But Zensari is still on Angela. Mayhaps.
Be strong together.
I'm excited to see the Gamma team up in ChopperMag's hands, considering we got to see Ground Zero play around with it, but I'm not sure if they're going to be locking it in just yet. They, of course, have 30 seconds left to choose, but we may instead be running triple strategist as a defense with one Vanguard?
You did?
Ooh. Spicy.
Say that again, you'll get a face full
Oh,
of
no.
flames.
Ooh, it was a bit of a... Was that a rocket? It was a rocket formerly, I do believe. It may have just been some outsourcing of the speed boost, the armor packs, all the above.
Could have been.
We're gonna jump back in on the prime and enraged, incredible Hulk that is Zenstar. Let's see if it's gonna be enough momentum for them. But I'm gonna bring to everyone's attention, Netra Hogs are running that Luna symbiote shenanigans team up. Sorry, not team up, sorry, I should say combination. I mean, one day we might get the Luna team up with Venom, you know, I'm keen for that. I know they know how to get down and get boogieing, so we'll see if that opens up. But Ganzu's going to play safely and actually going to go through the upper tunnel flank over here and try to take the high ground fight directly to ChopperMag's flank. But at the same time, Hogs is collecting information, wall running around, trying to find out positioning of ChopperMag's backline right there. But ChopperMag right now, they're backline from the high ground on both high grounds. And the only one in the front collecting information is Zensari. Rose is trying to get some picks, but he's actually facing Pethy on the high ground. The Namor is primed. Lou's going to fly around and get fired up for a flank.
Yeah, Louis trying to go for the flank, do some damage, finds the Vanguards of ChopperMag. There's a bit of damage to them, but they will be getting sustained from their strategists, of course. Ground Zero getting that different positioning from behind to try and get the high ground, of course. Does mean that they're getting slowly and closer towards that first tick, but ChopperMag is still on point. Patrick does have Whale available. Maybe wanting to use it early here, but Atlas is going to be the first one to use the ultimate. It's the Invisible Boundary going to met by Salvation Invisible Boundary as well. So Bobo goes in with a massive Ansong Inferno combined with the Whale. Massive combination coming out as Duep cleans up. Is it Ground Zero? Not able to get that first tick just yet.
Not just yet, but they've collected some information at the same time as burning through 2 ultimates from ChopperMag at the cost of only 1, which is very valuable for Ground Zero going into this next fight. Let's see if they can replicate that again, try to potentially, you know, nullify the fate of both worlds. But who is going to do that? It's gotta be that Meteor, and Adam's gotta line it up, but they're not gonna let him have it easy. They're gonna have definitely a lot of defense, especially from Duep, to get that Bulwark shield to protect Skittles from a Meteor. Let's see if they can get the effective motion for themselves right now. Adam's got it online. Netra as well. Fate of both worlds. Lou could go into the Supernova. A bit of the exile coming out from Zensari. Stops the momentum to start off, but we're still burning it up. Magneto Meteors in the sky. Goes, and it doesn't connect.
Duep not able to get that Meteor landed. Out goes the Beast of the Abyss from the Hulk to get into the backline. Finds a few people, but isn't able to get much damage off. Still no tick yet as ChopperMag holds on. There we go, first tick now achieved for Ground Zero. ChopperMag now contesting once more, putting their strategies there, but it's going to be Skittles now with the Fate of both worlds, but manages to dodge the Meteor as well. There's the also Ansong Inferno doesn't find anyone. Will. Absolutely a massive Resi Lou both taken out. Bobo Ansong Inferno was also not needed for that combination. It was just the Whale, and ChopperMag held the defense with Ground Zero with 1 tick.
That is going to be another strong defense for ChopperMag. Ground Zero do have a chance to defend one last time, but this is an insane stagger on Netra. The entirety of Ground Zero is returning to the fight, and Netra is still 5 seconds behind. That was a big exile coming out from Zensari. Big stall as Netra tried to reset off the map. That's going to chug the time down quite a lot. This fight could be dragged on, and it definitely will be, considering we've got a boundary up from both Salvation and Atlas, which means we're going to get the Venn diagram action. But on top of that, it means that 30 seconds are left. There's no chance for them to try and go for a portal play here. They need to make it happen with the mark that they have right there. Boundary could be online. They could build up to a wave of their own. Looks like Rosie's collecting some information, seeing ChopperMag on the high ground for the defensive positions. Namor is setting the squids. That's going to be from Peptig and Lou at the same time. But they're both getting marked. Bobo and Revsy, the Phoenixes, are absolutely blitzing through those squids. Absolutely cooking them up. But speaking of cooking them up, it's going to be a big meteor coming in from Duop. Is it going to crush down? And it does onto Netra. There's the Dunk Master back again. Skittles taking out Adam right there. It's going to be Adam down. The meteor down. The resets are flying in from Bobo. The flames are absolutely at the highest temperature right now. Duop takes out Avis. Hogs falls. That's going to be the timeout. That's going to be ChopperMag claiming Hall of Jalia.
Like they claim Hall of Jalia, they claim their third map in this best of 5, which means they claim the series and claim their spot in the grand finals tomorrow. We have confirmed one of our top 2 in the Marvel Rivals Stage 2 OCE, and that will be ChopperMag heading their way to the grand finals.
Heading their way. The glory right there. Salvation with the well-deserved MVP. Honestly, I know it was Invisible Woman on our screens, but it was definitely the Ultron that earned that massive MVP. Salvation's Ultron was absolutely metallic out there, absolutely putting in the work, the numbers, the damage, the healing was all above board. You could see it there. 19k followed by 22k, just putting 40k contribution altogether. That is insane, insane.
Yeah, amazing work from that Ultron. ChopperMag being able to protect that Ultron, I'm sure, definitely helped them secure this decisive victory for themselves, this third game in the Hall of Jalia. ChopperMag securing themselves a place in the grand finals. I'm sure they're very excited. We get to see some exciting gameplay, of course, as well in this game. We get to see Zenstari on the Angela. We get to see Ultron come out. We barely see Ultron with all the bands coming through. Such firepower coming out from Salvation with the Rage of Ultron raining down from the skies. And once again, here is another Rage of Ultron, able to do so much damage, able to get them around the corner as well, combined with the Ensong Inferno and the Psionic Seduction. It was such a team effort, Liger. ChopperMag looked absolutely super strong in this game, and we can see why they are a team to be feared.
Absolutely. They have been called out as the big dogs of OCE when it came down to all the interviews we've had over the past 2 weeks. Because of that, because of the cause, the target on their back, and the pressure, as you said earlier, pressure makes diamonds, and they locked their diamond position into the finals for Ignite OCE tomorrow. That's right, they're going to be facing off who knows who in a best of 7. That's going to be very, very exciting. I can't wait for that matchup. But of course, at the same time, Kanga Esports and Vulcan Red were watching that. They now know that whoever wins in their bout going to have to face Ground Zero. We've collected quite a bit of information. Ground Zero having a tough time against ChopperMag once again, especially from the group stage. Is the next time that they get to face ChopperMag, is that going to be in the finals? Are they going to defeat Kanga or Vulcan Red, depending on who survives this next set?
Yeah, this next set is going down into the lower bracket, so we get to see Vulcan Red versus Kanga. Now, Ground Zero has also been dropped down into the lower bracket as well, so they will be versing, as you mentioned, the winners of the next matchup, and that will be taking place tomorrow. So Ground Zero now have the chance to sit down and watch the next game as well. While the two teams, of course, in the sidelines can watch this game, Ground Zero have also this next game to watch. It's going to be exciting between these two. It's going to be spicy. It is a revenge match for Vulcan Red, but it's also a chance for Kanga to try to get through Vulcan Red and keep pushing forward and get that rematch against Ground Zero. These top 4 teams, there is a lot of history between all of them. There is a lot of revenge and rivalries that they have been building.
Absolutely. I absolutely couldn't agree more than that. It is going to be a good one to witness these teams going at each other. But what we will also bring to attention, we're going to do an interview. We're going to have a nice chat with one of the players from ChopperMag, see how the team's feeling, knowing that they made it again. That's right, the last time we met this team, they did make it to the finals of Stage 1. They did take it all the way to the mid-season finals and play in LAN. Are they going to secure their LAN spot again? Or will it go to one of these other 3 teams? That's the question. But for now, they seem to be on track with their goals, with their dreams. Let's see. Very, very soon we'll have that chat with one of the players from ChopperMag. But before we get into that, of course, what I am suspecting coming out of this next matchup, Kanga Esports and Vulcan Red, we're going to see a bit more of the triple strategist lineup, I think. We're also going to see some ideal picks that are going to be a bit different I will say though, Tini Valkyrie is the Angela of Ignite OCE. However, I really would like to see a reality where we get to see Tini Valkyrie versus Senstari both on Angela, because right now that would be an exciting matchup that I haven't seen yet. But it's going to be different. It's going to be finding out how it's all going to turn out. Kanga Esports and Vulcan Red is going to be an intense matchup. But before we get into that, of course, you know, we've got to put reality down for a second here. ChopperMag, they haven't dropped the map. Is that right?
Nope. Yeah,
They have
still
not
haven't dropped the map. They are currently sitting, quick math, 12-0? 13? Wait, let me count. 12-0. They're sitting at 12-0 right now, so absolutely amazing. Let's go talk to one of these amazing players, one of the winners of today. Let's talk to Bobo from ChopperMag.
Hello.
Hello, Bobo. Congratulations on winning today, and congratulations on making it to the finals tomorrow. You performed extremely well, and yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you.
How did you feel coming into this game? You versed Ground Zero in the group stage before. Have you changed your strategies a bit after playing that game? What did you learn from your previous matchup, and what have you brought into this the series today?
Today we just play we scream practice comp and just play normal. I think everybody play very well. And my
Awesome.
teammates and I can feel their energy. You know, it's different with Chinese team. I think I'm happy to join OC team now. Yeah,
That is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'll elaborate on that. How is it playing in Ignite OCE compared to playing in China? What would you say is the massive difference?
Like OC team good at dive tank, I think. Chinese team good at main tank comp like double shield and Emma Mag like this. But our team good at every tank comp, so we can play every comp very well.
That is
Our
awesome.
hero
That
pool,
is absolutely-
yeah. Our hero pool very deep. Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to know also on top of that, the other teams that are playing against ChopperMag. So far, you just took Ground Zero down and you sent them to the lower bracket. Who do you personally want to face in the finals tomorrow?
I don't know. Kanga? Who win? I don't know. Kanga? Or I don't know. I don't care. Just focus on the match. I don't care who they are. Yeah. Just focus on match.
No, that makes total sense. You guys look so strong right now. You guys haven't dropped a single map. You guys 3-0'd Ground Zero, and you haven't played Kanga yet though, right? So that could be interesting to see how you verse against Kanga. I think my final question for you today, Bobo, is I think more like, what do you think about Australia? Will you come to visit here and come to visit Australia after playing with the team? Do you want to what do you want to see in Australia if you were to come visit?
If I can, I got to go Australia. That's okay. But we don't have club now, so I don't have money. And
Right.
yeah. I don't know. We don't have club now. We don't have. We just looking for club at LAN, you know. So if you think we are good, just give me money.
We would love to
love
have
it.
you here in Australia in person. So maybe, hopefully, after the LAN, you could come visit us and experience Australian food and beaches and everything like that. You might like
Yeah.
Australian weather. Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time, Bobo. and thank you for your insight into playing in an Australian team. Congratulations on your win, and good luck with tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. What an absolute legend.
Yeah, absolutely
Pleasure.
amazing. Like, I think
Absolute.
Bobo is fantastic to have here in the OC region, bringing all his experience over from MRI China and bringing some new thoughts and